Gabriel Martinelli, Arsenal's off-key note. Welcome back, football fans. Today we're diving into the story of one of Arsenal's brightest young stars, Gabriel Martinelli. He's the player who once electrified the Emirates with his pace, his goals and his fearless style. But lately, something feels different. His rhythm seems off, his confidence shaky, and his role in Arsenal's symphony a little off-key. So, what's really going on with Gabriel Martinelli? Martinelli's rise was the stuff of dreams. Signed as a teenager from Brazil, he burst onto the scene with raw pace, dazzling dribbles, and a nose for goal. Fans instantly fell in love with his energy. He was relentless, chasing every ball, pressuring defenders, and scoring goals that made Arsenal supporters believe in the future again. For a while, it felt like he was the next great Arsenal winger, a player destined to follow in the footsteps of legends. But football isn't a straight line. And Martinelli's journey has hit turbulence. Recently, he hasn't looked like the same player who once terrified defenders. The spark is dimmer, the confidence shakier. Instead of leading attacks, he's often drifting out of games. The question is, why? Part of the answer lies in adaptation. Premier League defenders have studied him. They know his preference for cutting inside, his bursts of speed, his tendency to press high. Rivals have adjusted. And when a young player loses the element of surprise, the game becomes harder. Martinelli is facing the toughest test of any breakout star, evolving when the opposition catches up. Then there's the physical side. Injuries have disrupted his rhythm, robbing him of consistency. Every time he builds momentum, a setback seems to halt his progress. And in football, confidence is tied to rhythm. Without steady minutes, even the brightest talents can lose their shine. Arteta's system adds another layer of complexity. Arsenal's attack has become more structured, with an emphasis on control, rotations, and tactical discipline. For Martinelli, a player who thrives on chaos and instinct, fitting into that puzzle has been tricky. He still has the speed, the determination, the heart. But sometimes it feels like his style doesn't fully sync with the orchestra Arteta is conducting. And let's not forget the pressure. Arsenal's rise under Arteta has raised expectations. Every player is scrutinized. Every dip is magnified. For a young player like Martinelli, carrying the weight of those expectations is enormous. Fans want him to be the star he once looked destined to become. But in football, growth isn't always linear. The spotlight can be as heavy as it is bright. Comparisons make things even harder. When Bukayo Saka shines on the opposite flank, when new signings deliver, when rivals' young stars explode, Martinelli inevitably faces comparisons. Why isn't he scoring more? Why isn't he dominating? These questions swirl around him, fueling the narrative that he's fallen behind. But let's pause here, because while Martinelli's dip is real, it's not the end of the story. Many great players have gone through similar phases. Think about stars who struggled before evolving their game. What Martinelli needs now is adjustment, patience, and belief. He must diversify his arsenal, improve his decision-making, sharpen his end product, and rediscover the joy in his game. The good news, the talent is still there. His pace is still electric. His work rate is still phenomenal. His ceiling is still sky-high. The question is not whether Martinelli has the tools. It's whether he can adapt, grow, and prove that this off-key note is just a temporary dip in a longer, greater symphony. Arsenal fans shouldn't panic, but they should pay attention. Because Martinelli's story is a reminder. Talent alone isn't enough. Football demands evolution. And the players who survive the long journey are those who reinvent themselves when the game changes around them. So, is Gabriel Martinelli's dip a cause for concern? Maybe. But it might also be the very challenge he needs to become stronger. Sometimes, setbacks aren't signs of decline. They're the foundation of growth. For Arsenal, the hope is clear that Martinelli's off-key moment will soon give way to the music of a player ready to hit his highest notes again. At the end of the day, Gabriel Martinelli is still young, still hungry, and still capable of lighting up the Premier League. This is just one chapter in his story. The best chapters might still be unwritten. And if he can find his rhythm again, the Emirates will once more echo with the sound of a star in full flow. Welcome to Echoes of Football. In this video, we explore the story of Gabriel Martinelli, Arsenal's explosive winger who once set the Premier League alight, but now finds himself in a worrying dip. Is this just a temporary setback or something deeper? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of football's brightest stars and their struggles.